And welcome everybody to the Daily Space Weather. I'm your host Dan, aka smAsho, and we're starting things out looking at a colorized magnetogram of the sun here to show you 0 sunspots. A few plages down here in the south, and here's the intensity gram, and you can see no sunspots associated with those regions of activity. And we've decided to pull up the 1700 angstroms view here on the SDO. Cha-ching! To show you that there are no dark umbrae visible right now. And we've got some interesting coronal mass ejection footage at the end of the video. Part of the reason why we're doing it backwards on today's Sunday backwards special. Thanks for flying, American Smashways. Please keep your head and arms inside the Smash plane at all times. There's a lot of things to talk about. And thanks to the Smash team, please don't forget to share the content, and leave comments. Starting things out with some meteorology stuff, looking at the U.S. water vapor map to see some more activity here over Nebraska and Kansas. Let's zoom in. Excuse me. And there you can see that situation going on there. A bit of compression. We've got some massive air surrounding this moisture here. It could cause some stagnation and some stuff flowing in odd directions. That one moving south-southeast. And here's what's going on in the cloud there. Let's actually look at that close up. This is the shortwave radiation map. Part of the NASA GOES Interactive Weather Satellite Suite. Anyway, there's the current state of affairs. With clouds, it's too dark to use the visible satellite. Here's the U.S. Doppler radar map, and we see some pretty concentrated storms here moving out of Michigan into the Lake Huron area, as well as some rain over my head. It looks like it's going to be raining for quite a while. And there you can see that concentrated storm moving across the Nebraska-Kansas border. Here's a water vapor map for the Americas. And next we've got a couple more water vapor maps. Here's the Far East and Oceania. Here's Europe and Africa. And we've got some climate nonsense to cover. It wasn't picked up by CNN, the Climate Nonsense Network, or the Communist News Network, whichever you prefer. And let's check for lightning. I like to use lightningmaps.org when I hear thunder. And we do indeed have some here west of Lincoln. And the system might miss you, Lincoln. Hey, Hastings. There's thunder rolling in. Again, lightningmaps.org, or perhaps blitzortung.org. It's a slightly different format. Let's look at the jet streams. Here are the jet streams of the Western world. Extreme meridional jet stream flow at its finest. Meridional jet stream flow. And we see some jet stream here over the Indian Ocean, once again moving east to west, which is the opposite direction of normal. Southern Hemisphere jet streams got some extremely concentrated zones, such as right here. 183 kilometers per hour there. And check it out, here's some climate nonsense reported by SciTech Daily. This is from Ohio State University of Nonsense. Climate scientists sound the alarm. Oh no! Warming Greenland ice sheet passes the point of no return. Oh! I didn't get toccata and fugue in D minor. Now, the way they measure this is only by measuring outflow of fresh water, which is an utterly stupid thing to do. We've been looking at these remote sensing observations to study how ice discharge and accumulation have varied. Apparently they don't look at the snow-ice mass balance or anything like that. They obviously are either ignorant or intentionally lying to you. King and other researchers analyzed monthly satellite data from more than 200 large glaciers draining it. Greenland has not passed the point of no return where it's not going to see ice anymore. Want some proof? Don't believe me. Don't believe Michaela King, because she's completely incorrect. And since I don't want you to believe me, here's some actual data about it. Here's windy.com's real-time snow depth map. Boy, Greenland, it looks awfully melted, doesn't it? Oh my God, it's only got, let's check. How much snow does it have here? More than 5 meters. Okay, how much snow does it have over here? Very close to some spots that did melt. More than 5 meters. How about here? More than 5 meters. How about down here on the very southern tip? Just the tip. It's only 172.6 inches down there. These spots, they melt in the summertime because of the way the ocean water interacts with things. And keep in mind, Greenland is sunlit over a huge portion of the day during the summertime because part of it is in the Arctic. And here's some more data on it. We're not even going to show you the pressure maps today. We're just going to show you this. Here is the winter of 2019 to 2020. And you can see the snowfall was 2 standard deviations above normal. Does that look like a place that's gone past the point of no return? Wow. It's so melty there that it snowed 2 standard deviations above the 30-year average. The 1982 to 2012 average, it's 2 standard deviations above it. By the way, it also was last year and the year before, which causes excess calving and excess fresh water to end up in the ocean. Since more snow falls, more snow is able to melt. Also, check out this graph. This one is just not reported by anybody except certain climate enthusiasts. And check it out. It was looking pretty low, and now it's gone right back to the mean of the 30-year average between 1981 and 2010. And of course, they didn't report on this little event right here, where it gained, 600 gigatons of ice in the matter of a week. I guess that wasn't reported. I guess they're a little bit behind with the reporting there at Ohio State, and indeed at SciTech Daily sometimes. And my tab has vanished. And you can look right here, you can see as of August 15th, all of these blue areas are actually growing ice. These areas are still losing ice. And the balance has returned us right back to the average. So if you're worried about Greenland passing the point of no return, you're welcome. Here's weather.gov's map, and we've still got looks like some small craft advisories, or those gale warnings, as well as extreme heat in the south and in the west. California looks like it still has some power outages, although I've heard those have largely ceased, and those were unfortunately because of air conditioning, because of too much power use on the grid. I thought it was fires, it turns out it was air conditioning. That's bad. Just power use, that's not what you want to see. Also, over 100,000 out in Iowa. Let's do a volcano rundown. It includes Nishino-shima. It's producing an 18,000 foot above sea level plume of ash. Manam back on the list as it begins exploding once again. 14,000 foot plume of ash there. Kadavar back on the list, flight level 050 as it explodes. Dacono, localized volcanic emissions have produced a 7,000 foot tall plume. Popocatépetl exploding. $22,000 foot plume there. Sangay exploding, flight level 200 above Sangay. Don't fly your homemade kit helicopter over that. Sabancaya exploding, flight level 210, 21,000 feet. And Nevados de Chilean, weak sporadic emissions are a reminder to not attempt to pole vault the caldera. Looking at USGS earthquake map here, to see no 6+ magnitude quakes, but a bunch of them in the far east here, at the Philippines and so on. One near Easter Island. A nearly 100 kilometer deep quake at Chile, Some motion happening at Hawaii. And here's an ultra-deep quake at Fiji. It's a 4.5 magnitude at over 520 kilometers depth. That is deep. Series of Easter Island quakes there. Not of significant magnitude. South Sandwich Islands. Not a particularly common spot for quakes there as it's very far south. A deep quake at Japan. It's a 4.8 magnitude. Deep quake at very far inland here in South America. That's interesting. I think that might be the most inland quake we've seen here. Most of them are closer to the western coast. That one is in Argentina. It's a 4.1 magnitude at 581 kilometers depth. Here's another Philippine quake, nearly 600 kilometers at 580. So some major deep quakes just kicking off here, folks. Let's go to space. There's what's going on above my head right now. If you're up before dawn, you may see a great Venus and the moon, and if you look up between there and your zenith, that's where Perseus is. I think you probably can't see Perseids anymore. Mars is also up there on the ecliptic. Do you know what's going on in the summer triangle? Well, you've got Deneb, and you've got Altair. That's not Altair, that's Capella. All right, anyway, here's where stuff is in the solar system. There's where things will be in a week. Next, let's look at the ionosphere, come a little bit closer to home once again. One layer of the atmosphere. Ionosphere is looking discharged on the sun-facing side, otherwise pretty normal. Here's the current situation. It looks like there's some measuring errors there around the prime meridian. Here's a total electron content forecast, looking at the electron content of the entire air column all the way to the thermosphere, giving you an idea where GPS errors may be located. And we have a pretty low electron flux right now. GPS errors should be at fairly low nominal levels here. There's the forecast for the relativistic electrons. Here's the current 3-day graph. This is the greater than or equal to 2 mega electron volts. And we see a drop here as we've seen an increase in the solar wind density. So here's the greater than 2 mega electron, the relativistic electron flux chart for a year. That one's at solon.info. And welcome to another episode of the Smash Lights, where I just come out of nowhere like this. And then I talk about whatever I want. We are on Twitter, by the way, if you haven't checked us out there. Follow us on Twitter. It's twitter.com/smashomash. Now, yesterday we talked about a Florida teacher writing her own obituary because she's so scared of the scary, spooky COVID-19, probably because she's either inherently unhealthy or knows nothing about infectious disease. Or maybe she's just a political hack. Let's do a feel-good story today instead. 30 of the longest celebrity marriages. As I'm not against all human institutions, believe it or not. Did you know that Christopher Walken and Georgie Ann have been married for 49 years? Who knew? Now, some of these celebrities you may not like, but this does give you some indication that they aren't complete douches. Samuel Jackson and LaTanya Richardson, 38 years. A more well-known one, Kevin Bacon and Kira Sedgwick. John Travolta and Kelly Preston. Annette and Warren Beatty. Michelle Pfeiffer and that guy. Elton John and his husband. Lisa Kudrow and Michael Stern. I can't read these fast enough. Sarah Jessica Parker and Matthew Broderick. Tom Hanks and Rita Wilson. They met on the set of Splash. Who knew? I guess everybody knew. Anyway, it's a feel-good story, I guess, as these people haven't gotten divorced after decades. Meryl Streep, geez, that guy must be really patient. Even John Travolta's married. Can you believe it? Sarah Michelle Gellar and Freddie Prinze Jr. Not to be confused with David Arquette. Beyonce and Jay-Z. Michael J. Fox and Tracy Pollan, who met on the set of Family Ties. Dolly Parton. And these other people whose names I will not mention. This is a long list. Oh my God. These people haven't gotten divorced yet. By the way, if you want to see some of the products that we're endorsing, check out smAshomash.com/affiliate. I'll let this one scroll too. There's a pulse oximeter, and there's some supplements, and there's some almond flour. We will put videos up about recipes, including the almond flour. Tutorials on how to shugu things, yes. Smashed potatoes, a real respirator. One that will actually protect you. Some goggles, because Anthony Fauci said to get some. Hazmat suit. Coated chemical gloves. How about a USB waterproof metal drive? And if you want your hair to smell as good as mine, perhaps consider picking up some Garnier Fructis Sleek and Shine through our affiliate link. It's all available there at smAshomash.com/affiliate. If you're looking to get some merch, we've got 2 stores. You can find links to both of them at smAshomash.org. My next purchase is a shirt like this. We only make it in black and white because it's black and white about what's a verb and what's a scam. We've also got Mensa, which stands for Make America Not Suck Again. I'm also going to be picking up one of these when I get my "You know who is a scam, not a verb." You know who is a scam, not a verb. As I am laser focused on reality. I survived a global pandemic. Congratulations to you on surviving a global pandemic. Your ancestors probably survived much worse. This one's available in purple and gold, by the way, as well as black, featuring the Grim Reaper motif. It's all original designs. smAshomash.org, and well done, Smash staff, for getting all of our links up for us. If you need to reach us with a breaking news story, perhaps drop us a line at country code +1, area code 610-936-9799. It's the smAsho VoIP line. And if you don't follow me on Instagram, you may not see hits like this. While I was riding the bike modeling my Smasher Price My First Pandemic shirt, which I'm currently wearing, by the way. And getting some great views of the post-sunset situation. By the way, we got a packet from Amazon yesterday, and they wanted us to leave a compliment. And the first choice was cares for others, and featured like an emoji of a mask-wearing smiley. How stupid. Cares for others by demonstrating how dumb they are. Well done. We're also on Facebook. You may find us to be opinionated. Do you like high-capacity magazines? Do you like Sports Illustrated swimsuit issues? Well, the Ninth Circuit Court has struck down California's ban on high-capacity magazines. Hey, New Jersey, you're next. The Ninth Circuit, which is for the most far left and frequently overruled federal appellate court in America, finally produced a decision in line with the Constitution. It's nice to report on good news every once in a while when you're so scared and spooked of things that are so scary and spooky, like that right there. I mean, will a laser kill it? Well, I don't think a laser is going to kill it. Let's see. It's not working. It's not working. Not working. All right, let's try something else. How about a UV wand? By the way, you can buy these over at smAshomash.com/affiliate in one click. I don't think they're sold out yet. There were only 4 left yesterday. All right, COVID, you're out of here. For you can. All right, let's try a Hadouken. All right, see ya. Ha! Take that. That thing's not even qualified to be my enemy. CDC says quarantine guidance does not imply immunity to coronavirus for 3 months. Oh, the government. The government is totally not incompetent, pardon the sarcasm. They clarified on Friday that its updated quarantine guidance does not imply people who are infected with the coronavirus are immune to reinfection. Now, by the way, if you are not sick and you're being quarantined, that's no good. You got to put a stop to that, like, promptly. Seriously. You can't quarantine people who aren't sick, geniuses. Dumbest thing ever. Let's talk about autophagy. If you want to improve your overall health, autophagy is one way to do it. We've put up a blank forum here. It's an open letter to all of our viewers at smAsho.com/forum. This is free to view for anybody at the Free for All forum. There's no paywall here yet. There will be one eventually, but currently everything is visible to everybody. If you want to contribute, you got to create a login. Thanks to everybody who's done so. A post about autophagy. Can anybody tell me anything about it without looking it up? We want a thread about it, so go! Don't go to a different web page, just post stuff about it by pressing reply. And we'll go in depth or as basic as you want. Lots of other forum threads there available at smAsho.com/forum, including one about Google and how it's a scam and not a verb. So we've updated that yesterday about how YouTube intends to end election interference by interfering with the free press. Does it make your blood oxygen levels drop? Does it make your blood pressure go up? Go buy a shirt. Tell your friends and your foes about how it's a scam and not a verb. Anyway, this article is originally from American Thinker. We picked it up from zerohedge.com. There's the original article on American Thinker. Shout out to Monica Showalter. Drop me a line. We'll interview you. As we like people who are not ossified in their beliefs, but those who are, we'd still treat them with love, respect, and inclusion to the scientific discussion. Perhaps not into the political discussion where we laugh them off of Facebook. Perhaps because they're economically illiterate, for instance. Blood oxygen still 97%. Do you know your blood oxygen? No? Well, pick up a pulse oximeter like the Zacurate 500DL, made in Texas, not China, by the way, at smAsho.com/affiliate. Also, check us out on Subscribestar if you'd like to support the content and increase the probability that it will continue to exist, be free, and be publicly visible. Thanks to our patrons, the true source of funding for the content, as we are buried in search and as shadow banned as you could possibly imagine on Earth. Thanks to everybody who shares on social media, etc. as well. And follow us on Patreon even if you're not willing to open up your cobweb-encrusted wallet, because we do put up public posts and you can learn something. Cheers. Now, we are on BitChute. If you're not over there, thanks to our new subs over there. But if you are, thanks. And consider checking it out, as there's exclusive content on all of our social media, including on YouTube. Thanks to our subscribers over there. Please consider pressing like and subscribe over on YouTube. Tell your friends, tell your foes, tell your neutrals, tell your science noobs and your science pros. Now, we're currently streaming live to Twitch, and we're nearly at 50 subscribers over there. And again, please check the links below the video. And check smashomash.org, by the way. Thanks again, Smash staff and all of our viewers, for tuning in to another episode of the Smash Lights. And let's get back to space by looking at the Gong 2 data here. Here's the magnetic environment around the local heliosphere. Nothing too exciting happening in the line of sight field plot. We do see some South Pole polarity here in the top view ecliptic plane field plot. Here's the last image, and you can see some South Pole current sheet out towards stereo A and in between stereo B and Lagrange point 4. Lagrange point 4? No, Lagrange point 3. This is 3. 3 is over here, where people think Nibiru's been hiding. And there's the ghost magnetometer data. This will probably remain fairly variable here, as we could snap into the South Pole current sheet. And there is some varied plasma. The coronal mass ejection, by the way, is not Earth-facing. It appears to be directed in a westerly fashion. Let's look at ground magnetic perturbations here. The main ones are over the South Pole, which is in the southern Indian Ocean, and over the Canadian Pole, not the Siberian North Pole. Yes, there are two. Here's the final minutes as it refreshed annoyingly, increasing the length of the video. All right, here is the geospace magnetosphere movie in terms of the zoomed out version, looking at the magnetohydrodynamic pressure here. And we did see a recent increase in the solar wind density. We'll show you momentarily. No, it's not COVID. It's not COVID, and it's not the tumor. And here's the real-time solar wind, I think. And here's me reappearing. There we go. Now I'm back. And we recently saw the phi angle shift, actually, as I was doing show prep here. Looks like a weak coronal mass ejection strike here. A little bit of plasma. As we see an uptick in the wind density and speed at the same time, that's fairly indicative of a weak coronal mass ejection strike. We also see the phi angle and BT/BZ all shift at the same time. A little bit of shift in the temperature. Current solar wind density around 8.7 protons per cubic centimeter. Current solar wind speed around 323 kilometers a second. Having come off its lows, it was very low when I got up this morning, about the lowest we ever see it, 273 kilometers a second. Next, looking at, I don't know what's next because we're doing it backwards today, folks. Oh my God, it's the proton flux, and we don't see very many protons here. Baseline levels for the proton flux. And there's that C-class flare that happened yesterday. It was a C2.0. And here's the KP index. It's giving us the finger. See what I'm saying? It's, yeah, you get the idea. 10.7 centimeter radial flux has come all the way down to 71. So back to more like solar minimum conditions. And here's the coronal mass ejection we were talking about. Let me get off the screen here. And that looks like it's entirely missing to the west there. And we've made a little composite here, including the sun, Earth scale, and the LASCO C2 coronagraph. Pretty high speed ejection there. And we're going to show you some plane videos also. Here is the southern hemisphere in 171. Here's the northern hemisphere in 171. Couple more frames for you here, folks, and then we are out. That's what I'm talking about. Again, we don't see any sunspots. There's no reason to show you the fields right now. There's nothing very organized happening. Here's the LASCO C3. As you can see, Mercury sliding behind the aperture arm here, as well as a view of the coronal mass ejection. It's pretty diffuse, and again, it's quite wide to the west. Upstream of Earth's orbit is a good way to put it. Thanks, NOAA and NASA. And there you can see just the C2 by itself. Can't can't really see the coronal mass ejection very well on this, and there still is some, you can kind of see it there. It's sort of behind a suspended bit of plasma there. You can sort of see it in the background. Not a good view there from stereo A to see that coronal mass ejection. And lastly, let's do a 94 angstroms 48-hour SDO video to close things out. And by the way, that coronal mass ejection happened at about 7 o'clock Universal Time, 0700 hours, on August 15th, if you want to check it out. And it did come out of former Sunspot 2770, which is the plage right in this area here. You can see it brighten up at that time. If you're wondering where it came from, it's where that C-class solar flare happened. And I apologize for not noticing that coronal mass ejection. It wasn't Earth-facing in any case. Anyway, it's about that time. We are out. Thanks for tuning in. Remember, stare at the sun, attempt to understand the physics, don't drink, and if you do, don't drive. Visit the links below the video. Increase the probability that we won't tank and go out of existence entirely, as it's looking more and more likely lately that we indeed will, and sell out one way or another. And since it'll never be now again, welcome to the Neo-Renaissance. May that solar wind be at your back. And the covidiously absent from your location.